Oh, this is 23. Okay. Let me get it.
An hour or two, but I could be making that up.
Got it. I got two.
There's no excuse for animal abuse. Excuse for animal abuse. Excuse for animal abuse. Drink my megaphone. Oh.
Thank you, lady.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, another shirt. And he gives another. He had 6 fucking shirts.
He was teasing.
Oh, yeah,
right?
teasing everyone, you know?
That's
And
so
he had
funny.
the entire stadium going for him. And
Did they have the camera on him?
Yeah, and he had the entire stadium going because everybody, like, after the second shirt, they
Yeah,
came
waiting,
in,
right?
waiting to see his fucking chest, you know? And then at the end, the national said, I love New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Was he a big fan spot?
No, it wasn't.
Good shape. Good enough.
Wasn't fat, but he wasn't skinny. But he was a fantastic guy.
Yeah, got everybody going. But this is not good. You can't do that. Oh, That's really funny.
Shirts, if you're interested.
Miss Carla, Miss Sally.
least one for me. Holy cow. Give me, I'll take them. I'll take care of everything. Gonna roll them up.
You're gonna roll them up?
Smoke it.
Smoke it.
Thank you. Put this on. It's blocking your sign. And I want to get a nice over the shoulder walking down there through those people.
Catch up with you.
I'll catch up with you sometime. You know, I'm sure. Just keep holding it.
Good stuff. Look at the flag.
Trying to get him as a service.
That's where they're going to be, the speakers. So if we get them nice and close. No, I'm not.
Oh, you're
I
not?
wish I was that capable with this camera.
Somebody's live. we have it. It's on Facebook.
Oh, really? Very cool. Guys, share it, share it.
Never met until now, but this was our meeting.
It's a good first meeting.
Yeah, this is
Want to go back there? Let's get that sign over there.
You want that sign? I've already been through a few protests. That's a lot more than most people I've been through. Pretty good.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you.
I know.
That was my image when you but now it's like, yeah.
And that was that replacement.
So, yeah, it's funny, like, I can say, like, there's like yeah, I've seen that, so it's just like, where are they all? Well, it hasn't started yet. I have a going to be a little bigger. There's a lot of people here already.
Let me, let the whole thing start. We're going to go from the Empire State Building and come down to it.
Can you tell that I made this out of a pillowcase?
you. Thank you.
They made a point for us, her mom's husband made a point of, you know, like maybe
Girl that I bought for Amanda was turning Charlie Quinn. Her dad, like, a comic book guy.
I'll go to a couple of things. Yeah, well.
What? Go down a little bit, sorry.
Yeah, I was just telling her that we had like, he's not vegan, but he's like red meat.
Woodstock's Jamboree, and we're doing
Come on.
You know why? Because it's legal now.
Right here.
I
Sorry, yeah.
I know that it's just quote to people like we're doing what they call it. Right. Condition. It's a condition.
That's the best. All these people. I just want to like.
Oh, okay, you're not from
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm trying to. He probably hates me. It's like a kind of
I'm so sorry, yeah.
but it was definitely medium. And the pole compact a bit.
Alright, where do we go?
Over here, Bob. This little section.
If Woodstock buys property,
So what we do is that if you can hold the
People scattered around. So we're just gonna go
Thank
find
you, dear.
everybody. And back there, Alex has a black.
Thank you, ladies.
Alyssa, say hi. Hi, Alyssa. I was just looking at your shirt and decided to
They're on the other side of the street too.
These are the beautiful shirts that are up there for sale. Come get them while they're live. We don't have many left.
Did you need stickers? Guys, we got a ton. Put it on stuff.
Check.
Good afternoon, New York. Are you guys ready? All right. You know why you're here. You all represent a bunch of different groups here. I'm extraordinarily humbled to be representing all of you today. We're sending a message loud and clear. So remember that. You're part of something huge. All play a role in this. From me to everyone involved here, we're all equal. And we're all doing the same thing. And I'm so proud to be part of this incredible movement. And I hope you are too. All right, let's get this going. I've got a good friend of mine here today. Many of you know her from the movie Parent Trap. And from the TV show Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll with my Bostonian friend, Dennis Leary. Go Red Sox. All right, and this way. Hey, can you hear me better now? Yeah. All right, so Elaine Hendricks was in the movie Parent Trap many years ago, and Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll with Dennis Leary, like I said. I know her as a fierce animal rights activist. I met her carrying a monkey off a truck that we saved from a lab in New Jersey. That's how I met her. She's awesome, and I'm incredibly proud to introduce my good friend, Elaine Hendricks.
Bobby your soul, everyone. One of my heroes. Hey, I'm here. I'm preaching to the choir, and look at the size of this choir. As an actress, it's my job to tell stories, and I took that job very seriously years ago when I heard Viktor Frankl tell his stories in his books. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning. And he talked about the one day a month off that they had. They pushed together their benches and reenacted their Yiddish theater together. And it was at that moment I said, storytelling is imperative to the human race. And now more and more it's coming out, one of the greatest distinctions we have over other species is our ability to tell stories. So for each one of us, if we go and we continue to tell our stories and tell the stories of the animals, we will continue to change the world in a positive, loving, compassionate direction, just like we are doing. My story, I sat down, it's been about 12 years ago now. And I said I wanted to find a platform because some of my work was becoming really public. And I said, of all the causes that I get involved with and all the things that matter to me, what is my passion? What is my deepest passion? And I sat down and accidentally watched an Undercover Fur video. It was that moment. My boyfriend at the time, I was like, honey, I'm selling my car. It's got leather interior. I'm cleaning out all of our cleaning products because they were tested on animals. I'm getting rid of all my leather. I wasn't wearing fur anyway. I bought new makeup. I completely changed my life. I had already been vegetarian since 1995. I re-upped, became vegan, and now here I am with you, marching through New York to be the voice for those who don't have voices. So what do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? I love you, New York. I love you, animal activists. Thank you so much.
Hey, one more time, Elaine Hendricks. Right now I get another chance to introduce one of my heroes, the co-founder of Toronto Pig Safe. Many of you have worked with this incredible human being. And without saying a lot, I'm going to let her speak for herself. Ladies and gentlemen, Anita Krantz.
Hi, thank you. Toronto Pig Safe started 8 years ago when I adopted a dog, Mr. Bean, and walked on Lakeshore and saw pigs looking out of trucks with fear in their eyes. And then we started Toronto Pig Safe. And the slaughterhouse in downtown Toronto was 5 minutes from where I lived. So it was super easy to do 3 vigils a week. And we did that every week. And we did over 1,000 vigils in Toronto. The inspiration for us include Leo Tolstoy, Gandhi, Cesar Chavez, Saul Alinsky, Lois Gibbs, and other love-based community organizers. And our main strategies are bearing witness, love-based community organizing, and using a variety of tactics. Tolstoy defined the moral duty to bear witness as when you see a suffering creature, don't succumb to the initial desire to flee from the suffering one, but on the contrary, come closer, as close as you can to her, and try to help her. So usually we bear witness in a partial way. We go to slaughterhouses and we give water and food to the animals, but then they go to slaughter. But sometimes we rescue them. Each year there are hundreds of animals that are rescued by the Save movement. I invite each of you to bear witness in your community. Find out if there's a slaughterhouse or live market near where you live, and either join an existing group or create a new Save. And I'll give you an example of the slaughterhouses and live markets in New York City. There are 3 live markets in Brooklyn and Queens, which we went to yesterday. One is in Brunswick neighborhood in Brooklyn, and it includes Kikariki Live Poultry and Dubao Live Poultry on Nicholas Street. We bore witness yesterday to goats, chickens, rabbits, baby calves. And the animals were protecting each other. There was a goat in the corner of the kill pen that was sort of looking out for the other goats and calves, right next to the slaughterhouse, slaughter floor. There are 85 live markets in New York City. There are 32 in Brooklyn. There are 30 in Queens, 3 in Uptown Manhattan, including La Granja in Harlem, which we've held a number of vigils there. There are 18 in the Bronx, including 5 in the South Bronx, and there's 1 on Staten Island. There's an opportunity here to hold vigils at each of these live markets. There should be 85 chapters of Save groups in New York City. Imagine that. So if you live in one of those neighborhoods and you live around the corner from a live market, please start a chapter. There are currently 5 AV chapters in the 5 boroughs of New York City. Soon there will be hundreds in each of the neighborhoods of New York City. And eventually we will have thousands of disruptions in New York City. So we need to do all these things and build a mass-based movement, and it's up to us. We each have so much power. In a love-based community approach, each person is a leader. So let's all be leaders and organize. Thank you.
All right, how about one more time for Anita? And you heard her. We're all leaders. Lead. All right, today I've got another opportunity to introduce someone who I've not met before, but I'm familiar with his video about his action as a priest. You got to go watch the video. It's hysterical. Anyway, this is Dan Matthews from PETA, and he is an amazing human being, and I'm proud to be able to introduce him today. Thanks.
Greetings from PETA. Thank you so much for continuing to speak up for animals. It's activists like you that make all the crucial victories possible. It's the campaigners here in New York, and I mean many of you here today, who were the tipping point in pressuring Michael Kors to finally stop using fur. And I gotta tell you, that victory created a domino effect throughout the fashion world. Agitators, like they do in New York, against fur offenders, exhibit model behavior for activists everywhere. Please give yourselves an applause. Agitation is what leads to change, and change is happening all over. Just this year, activists in Washington helped PETA pressure the Pentagon to finally end gruesome military trauma tests on animals. Activists took to the streets of Anchorage to help cut off sponsorships of the Iditarod race, in which dogs die every year. And they joined us to cause a ruckus at the University of Pittsburgh, where we succeeded in stopping sadistic experiments on mice this year. They also joined us outside of a Milwaukee slaughterhouse, dripping in fake blood and lying in white plastic trays to illustrate the violence of the meat trade. We do these bloody meat trade protests in busy lunch areas all across the country. Does the public digest the message? Are people heeding the warnings that the meat trade is the #1 polluter on the planet and the prime cause of deadly diseases? Signs are all around that shows the public is finally evolving. Just this week, vegan eating was declared the #1 trending diet all across the country. But let's get back to New York. There's one issue here in New York that has been on our agenda for far too long. I'm talking about the fight to free the horses from the cruel carriage trade. Will the city council ever come to its senses and pass a bill to ban it, as has happened in so many other world capitals? Yes, one day they will. In the meantime, yesterday, an important first step was taken. The Department of Transportation announced plans to move the horse line from the dangerous, nerve-wracking traffic and put it into the park. And guess what? Yesterday, the carriage drivers threatened to sue to keep horses in harm's way all day. Well, I think we need to send a loud and clear message to the drivers and to city officials of what needs to happen right now. Get the horses out of traffic. 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 Let's keep sending that message. Let's echo that message all over the city until it happens, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen this fall, and it's just the first step. Thank you all for remaining active for animals. The animals are depending on you. Keep up the great work.
All right, how about that? We're gonna get those beautiful horses out of traffic, right? That's a good start. All right, the last speaker today, or at least, maybe not the last speaker, but one that many of you may know already. She was on the Big Brother house in Israel. as a vegan. And she convinced everybody on the show to go vegan. I watched videos last night. It was amazing. And I'm very proud and honored to introduce my new friend and compadre, Tal Gilboa.
Not just everybody in the house, but 500,000 people in Israel changed their diet because of the Big Brother show. Yeah, it will be nice. Thank you. English is not my language, and my name is not Eran Morad from Israel, but everything is going to be fine. Loud. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me in the back? Nietzsche said, if you gaze long into the abyss also gazes into you. Almost 8 years ago, I agreed to look down into the abyss that for me was my part in the animal's hell. Since then and until now, I haven't stopped looking down into the abysses of sadness and suffering, and they look back at me. I never imagined how that change back then would be so significant, but it turned out to be the greatest and the most meaningful change of my entire life. Thank you. I was sure the moment I would tell the animals' stories, people would agree to change. And while some do, the majority of people are brainwashed, and I have had to experience and witness the dark side of humanity over and over again. When I understood that we had to create a radical change from the base up, deep in the roots, I also understood the enormous responsibility on my shoulders. The hell endured by animals doesn't exist because of us anymore. Thank you. But we must be their voice and take full and wise responsibility for them. I knew that I wasn't supposed to wait for anyone to do it. I knew that that someone is me. That someone is you. We are the someone we have been waiting for. We are the ones who will bring about change. Yeah, we are. I don't wait for anyone to want to hear or to see the truth. The truth is there, naked for all to see, cold, cruel, and full of suffering. That's how we founded the largest grassroots movement in Israel, Total Liberation, with the slogan, thank you, with the slogan, always and everywhere. It isn't just a slogan, it's reality, because somehow it's never the right time or place. But we don't ask anyone where or when, because it's always the right time and place. That's also how we founded the Glass Walls Association, the largest project anywhere, documenting thousands of farms all over Israel, so that nobody can say it doesn't happen here. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and every opportunity I got, I took. It wasn't always easy, but in the end, it was always worth it. For almost 8 years, I have been going in and out of the jaws of hell, time and time again. There is nothing more difficult than turning my back and leaving them there to their fate, knowing the physical and the mental anguish they suffer, which ends only in the slaughterhouse, the place where billions of miserable, innocent beings are butchered. I've been doing it for 8 years, and it works. We reinvent ourselves over and over, looking for new and creative and effective ways to bring about the most extensive change in the consciousness that humanity has to go through. The concept that animals are not ours to use, not ours to eat, not to wear, not to use as entertainment, not ours to be donated to science. They are just like us. They deserve to live their lives as they are, free, fearless, and worthy of family and protection. I have seen with my own eyes tens of thousands of animals sentenced to death moments before the knife slit their throat. I have seen endless mothers as the dearest thing to them, their baby, was snatched from them. I have seen babies trembling and crying for their mothers. Each and every one of them is etched upon every cell in my body with one promise: not to live, not to back down, not to give up. In those eyes, I see the change in the world growing as the worldwide vegan movement gains momentum. I see the plant-based alternative that keep popping up in the stores. I see the people who keep changing and spreading change around them. There is no hidden secret to success. It's always the result of preparation, hard work, and in our case, lots of blood, sweat, and tears. The human race has to stop the animal holocaust before the animal holocaust puts an end to the human race. We will march forward together. We will not retreat backwards, and we will never give up as long as the animals are terrified victims in a cruel system, as long as the planet is overflowing with heavy agony-filled bodies. We will march forward together. We have not only justice, but also the truth on our side. As Victor Hugo said, there is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Now is the time for animal liberation. Toda rabba. Thank you.
All right. We got a few little announcements to make, right? Okay, cool. Well, thanks for being here. We're about ready to march. I gotta mention my friend Nim Chimpsky up in heaven. He started it all for me 40 years ago. So I'm proud to be here with you today, and we're making a difference. So thank you all for letting me come and represent all of you. It means a lot to me and all my friends that I've been working with for so long. So, and I know thousands, literally thousands of hours of work that every one of you have put in. It matters and it's working. Thank you so much. Let's change the world.
How's everybody doing? Can we get another huge round of applause for Bob? All right. Listen, you all look amazing. A couple of quick announcements and we'll be hitting the road. Let's all make sure the march is as long as possible. Okay, please all make sure we're all behind the main banner. Okay, and keep it as narrow as possible. We want to make sure we're as long and as effective as possible. Please make sure all your signs are up at all time and make sure that they're in the right direction. Right after the march, we're going to be heading to Washington Square Park, and we're going to take advantage of this amazing crowd and let New York City know how we feel about the parade. So make sure to join us right after the march. Last but not least, we should be there around 5:30. Stay on the street, do not go on the sidewalks. And be loud. Now, speaking of loud, let's go over these awesome chants real quick. Y'all ready? There's no excuse. For animal abuse. There's no excuse. For animal abuse. We want justice. For the animals. We want freedom. For the animals. Animals feel pain. Just like us. Animals love their families. Just like us. Animals want to be free. Just like us. Humane slaughter is a lie. Animals do not want to die. Humane slaughter is a lie. Animals do not want to die. Their bodies. Not ours. Their lives. Not ours. Their bodies. Not ours. Their lives. Not ours. What do we want? Animal liberation. When do we want it? Now. I love y'all. Let's have an amazing march.
I'm trying.
I'm looking for Sia, where she is. Taking video.
There's a nice too. Oh, yeah. Wow.
I got everybody for great stuff.
Right. That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Colorful color like black. It's got the orange. That's a dress rolling into neon yellow, orange.
So how you feel about the turnout of today?
I think the turnout's great, better than last year and growing every year, so as good as can be expected.
What year is this for the parade?
Second year, actually. Last year was the first year, so I think the organizers, especially the New York organizers, Robert Banks, Lisa Epps, and all of their team have done a great job. I mean, look at how many people are here. And look at how many well-known people are here, people that are willing to put their names to their commitment.
What's the next project for your
For me, I'm going back to Oklahoma where I helped to run a monkey sanctuary called Mindy's Memory Primate Sanctuary in Newcastle. We're always looking for donations. And then I'll be off to Florida where I'll be speaking at the 25th anniversary of the Center for Great Apes where I'm an advisor. So,
is there a website you'd like to mention?
Excuse me?
A website that you like to mention?
Mindy'sMemory.org and CenterForGreatApes.org. And thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So good. We can stand anywhere we want.
Just just like us. Animals feel pain, just like us. Animals feel pain, just like us. Animals feel pain, just like us. Animals love their families, just like us. Animals want to be free, just like us. Animals love their families, just like us. Animals want to be free, just like us. There's no excuse for animal abuse. There's no excuse.
can you turn around so I can get you?
Just like us. Just like us. Just like us.
One more.
Just like us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eddie.
That's awesome. I love that.